chronic pain still existed.
Yeah.
And then we just talked about 5 minutes ago, the emotions, right? My mood, my self-concept, that started to deteriorate, right? Now, none of these drugs really are comprehensive, mind, body, soul, bro. You dig what I'm saying? I had to find something else.
Yeah.
Cannabis was it. You did.
Hey, you guys, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the Culture of Health podcast, where I had the absolute pleasure of talking about cannabis with the one and only Dr. Rasean Hodge. Dr. Hodge is a graduate of Morehouse College. He's a family medicine doctor who's practiced for over 20 years, and he had an experience in his life that completely changed the trajectory of his career. This experience led him to pursue a master's degree in cannabis from the University of Maryland, which is the first degree of its kind in this country. Needless to say, Dr. Hodge is a pioneer in this space, a wealth of knowledge, and you'll probably want to listen to this episode 2 or 3 times just to make sure you catch all the gems that he dropped. One of the most important things that you'll pick up from this episode is that everybody is unique and we all respond differently to the things that we put inside of our body. Knowing that, it's really important for you to stay in tune with what's going on inside of your body so you can keep track of all the changes and know whether you're feeling better or feeling worse, depending on what you're introducing to your system. Now, there are a few ways to get feedback on how your environment is impacting your health, and one of the ways that I like to do that is by using levels. Levels is building technology that helps you see how food affects your health with continuous glucose monitoring. When you sign up with Levels, you receive 2 14-day sensors that you plug into the back of your arm that continuously monitors your glucose. Knowing how your habits is impacting your glucose levels is a cheat code because not only are you avoiding chronic illnesses, but you're also getting the most out of your body on a daily basis. That means having more energy. That means having better sexual function. That means having clearer skin. That means being able to focus more. All of those benefits are things that I experienced after stabilizing my glucose, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without Levels Health. The app has a way of positively reinforcing behaviors that keep your glucose stable, and if your glucose is unstable, they'll send you relevant information based on your own personal data that gets you back on the right track. So if you can't tell by now, I'm a huge fan of Levels Health, and I think that you would really benefit from monitoring your glucose for at least 1 month. With that being said, Levels has partnered with the Culture of Health podcast to offer you 2 free months on top of your yearly subscription. To take advantage of that offer, all you have to do is click the link in the show notes of this podcast or go to levels.link/metabolism-mentor. That's levels.link/metabolism-mentor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Culture of Health podcast. Today, I got a treat for you guys, for all of my cannabis users out there, whether you're using cannabis for chronic pain, recreation, or you're just sad, man. You might just be sad and you're using cannabis. I got an expert here. There's a lot of misconceptions when it comes to cannabis. I know I've fallen for a couple of them. But I've got Dr. Rasean Hodge in the building. Every time I say that, I feel like we need to have a hand clap. We're going to
do that thing, bro.
We got a packed room. Rasean, how you doing today, bro?
I'm doing great, bro.
Yeah. Let the people know.
I'm doing great.
Good,
Great,
man.
Happy
I want
to talk about cannabis. You know,
I want to jump right in, man. I got a lot of questions for you, but I was listening to another podcast that you did with DJ Infamous. And you said
The Wolf of Wall Street.
And the Wolf of Wall Street. Shout out to those guys. Shout out to the Smoke With Me podcast. But you said you hadn't started smoking or using cannabis until you were 46.
Yeah. Well,
Was it
46?
Okay, I want
2015, like 43-ish.
That's still crazy to me.
Yeah.
Because most people get caught up in the younger years. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Your homies is using.
Right.
Well, how did you make it all the way to 43, 46? Without using?
Well, I want to think, I guess sports was one. I know cannabis is widely used in sports today.
Yeah.
But like back in the day, you know, I finished high school 30 years ago. Cannabis was associated with the soup that they were feeding us, you know, this war on. We were the kids that grew up with the coloring books of Crime Dog McGruff.
Yeah, the Dare.
The Dare.
Yeah.
So cannabis was something that was going to slow you down.
Yeah.
We played football. My twins in the building.
Shout out to Rashad.
So you know, cannabis was associated with bad health.
Yeah.
the therapeutic aspects and the potential of cannabis was never explored by the government, by my parents, by friends. You know, it was more on the recreational tip. So that's
sense.
why I avoided it.
Makes sense. So you avoided it for so long. What? Like, just take me along the whole story, man.
Got
like,
you.
hold on. Let me start with the fact that you're a doctor.
Yeah,
Like,
MD.
MD. And
Real MD.
How long did you practice?
I got almost over 2 decades of medical practice. I'm a family medicine physician.
Okay.
I delivered babies. My son was the last baby that I delivered.
Okay.
Hospice. I have clinical research experience. Phase 3, phase 4 clinical trials. So
What made you transition out of that after 20 years?
Well, I fell in love with pain, especially with hospice, end of life pain.
Okay.
Then I just fell in love with pain in general and the emotions that come from pain. You know, we poorly study emotions.
Yeah.
Maybe it won't make money. Maybe Big Pharma will collapse, but we don't understand emotions. And chronic pain can cause depression, anxiety, lead to obesity.
Yeah.
Now you got body dysmorphic syndrome. Now you're more depressed, sleep issues, sleep disturbances, eating disorders.
Yeah.
So pain can cause a lot of things.
Yeah.
Suicidal ideation, suicide. You know, we can go on and on what pain can cause. And we poorly understand that. So in 2012, I broke my neck playing basketball, right?
Okay, so hold on.
Yeah.
2012. How old were you then?
I was like in my prime, baby. What you mean?
What's prime? Because like
I'm still in my prime. I'm 48.
I hear that. I love that. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I was like guerrilla warfare.
Yeah,
prime,
I
bro.
bet.
You dig?
So you know what I'm saying?
So yeah, I break my neck, right?
Playing basketball.
Yeah, ran into a pick, right? Break my neck. Don't know anything about cannabis, but what do I do know about chronic pain?
Yeah.
Opioids,
Pharmaceuticals.
opium, the plant. The mother compound is morphine, and we have these drugs that we get from morphine, right? Percocet, Roxy's, Tylenol number 3, Vicodin, right?
Yeah.
I needed that. I also couldn't sleep, so benzodiazepines, you know, the Ambien,
So you was on everything.
Xanax, needed that. That didn't help me sleep. Trazodone, mood stabilizer, helped me sleep, right?
You were doped up.
Well, I was medicated, but chronic pain still existed.
Yeah.
And then we just talked about 5 minutes ago, the emotions, right? My mood, my self-concept, that started to deteriorate, right? Now, none of these drugs really are comprehensive, mind, body, soul, bro. You dig what I'm saying? I had to find something else.
Yeah.
Cannabis was it. You did.
So how exactly did that help to like relieve some of the pain? Because I'm interested in like the pain that we're experiencing.
Pharmacokinetics. You want to go deep, bro?
Wow, what'd you say?
Pharmacodynamics.
What is that? What is pharmacodynamics, pharmacokinetics? How does that relate to the pain that you were experiencing, and
Well,
how
you
did
gotta
cannabis relieve
understand
you?
drugs,
Okay.
right? We all have receptors in our body, and every drug or over-the-counter drug we take goes to that receptor.
Yep.
Once science and one scientist and docs, people figure out, hey, that's the receptor that can stop inflammation or slow that, or it can help you sleep, or it can help put serotonin in your body. I'm AstraZeneca, you're Eli Lilly. We're racing to design a drug to fit to that target, right? So we have a natural target for cannabis.
Yeah.
All right, I know you guys are thoroughly enjoying this episode with Dr. Hodge, and as you continue to listen, you'll understand how important it is to make your health your number one priority. This is something that I've understood for several years now, and one of the ways I'm currently making my health my number one priority is by drinking AG1 by Athletic Greens every single morning. One scoop is packed with 75 vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants to support the energy levels and overall wellness that I need to feel good on a daily basis. I've been taking it for several weeks now, and it's one of the several ways that I support my gut, which helps to support my mood. In this episode, you'll hear Dr. Hodge talk about how useful CBD can be when treating conditions like depression and anxiety. Well, I'm not sure if you knew this, but conditions like depression and anxiety are oftentimes originated in the gut. And that's why it's important to have products like AG1 in your daily routine, because it's another way to support your gut and support a healthy mood throughout the day. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to optimal health, especially optimal mental health. But for me, drinking AG1 every single morning is one way that I'm making sure that I'm covering all of my nutritional bases, and I know that it helps to support my positive outlook on life. So, if you want to take ownership of your health, today is a good time to start. Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your purchase. To take advantage of this exclusive offer, you're going to want to go to athleticgreens.com/TCHP. That's athleticgreens.com/TCHP. By now, you guys are seriously considering many different things that you might be able to implement into your daily routine that are going to help improve your health outcomes. I get it. I know I just got done telling you guys about how I drink Athletic Greens every single morning, but I wanted to tell you guys about another partner of this podcast that has a really good product that I like to use on a consistent basis when I'm trying to keep my fiber intake in check, and that's Supergut's Fiber Mix. This mix has no taste, it has no smell, and it doesn't change the consistency of your food. You can literally mix it into anything, and it'll add 9 grams of prebiotic fiber into your food. This can be really helpful because prebiotic fiber ferments in your gut. It helps to feed the good bacteria and decrease the population of bad bacteria, and it helps to produce short-chain fatty acids, which has been proven to have several benefits on your gut health and your overall health. You can mix Supergut Fiber Mix into your oatmeal, into protein shakes. Shoot, I've even mixed it into our kids' spaghetti one time, and they had no idea. Now, it's advisable to get your fiber from several different sources like raspberries, oats, or even kimchi. But if you're busy like me, or if you don't like kimchi, like I don't, then using Supergut's Fiber Mix is a great way to kickstart your journey of improving your gut health by adding more fiber into your diet. So head to supergut.com and give their Fiber Mix a try.
CB1 receptors, CB2 receptors, right?
Okay.
That's part of your endocannabinoid system.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this system is not just in humans, animals, without a vertebrae, with a vertebrae, you dig, have this endocannabinoid system. The word endo means you have an innate, naturally occurring cannabinoid called anandamide, and another one called 2-AG.
Okay.
So just sitting upright, right?
Requires some sort of energy use.
Yeah, and you experience some pain to have some posture, right?
If I do it for too long.
Yeah, right? To have that chest out hurts, right?
Exactly, yeah.
But you have natural opioid receptors putting natural opioid in your back to relieve some of those spasms to make you comfortable, right?
Okay.
You have your endocannabinoid system kicking in right now to help with some of that inflammation, to help with some of that cortisol, to help with some of that stress. You follow me?
So what's happening when we introduce cannabis to the endocannabinoid system? Like the endocannabinoid receptors receive the cannabis.
Yes.
And then what's happening to where like the
So
pain
the drug
goes
does
away?
something to the body, right?
Right. What is the drug doing to the body?
Okay, that's pharmacodynamics.
Okay. And it's different for everybody, I'm sure.
Yeah, everyone, just like a fingerprint,
Yeah.
and we're truthful. We're starting out, this industry is starting out in truth. At least we're recognizing that everyone's different.
Yep.
You know, men, women, you and I are different. Our BMI is different. The way our kidneys work is different. The way we metabolize drugs is different. You know, and it's not just quantitatively, you know, my social history, how I grew up, you know, determines how I break down and receive medication and drugs. So just like a snowflake, we're all different.
Right.
So like you said, you know, earlier in the intro, you know, you might be a little sad.
Yeah.
You know, use some cannabis, smoke some weed.
Not gonna
Because
work.
some people have a paradoxical effect and get more anxious and can become more depressed.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying?
How do people go about, like, I mean, obviously you find out about how cannabis impacts you by using it yourself, right? Like empirical evidence is
Hell yeah.
above everything else. But
Yeah.
for someone who likes to do the research, someone's gonna say, man, Dr. Hodge, I'm feeling X, Y, and Z. How do you take someone's like symptoms and be able to figure out which products of yours would be like best suit whatever they're going through?
That's great. Now that's a great question because not to segue in, but in an hour they'll announce the dispensaries that we're having here in Georgia. You can't call it a pharmacy because it's still a Schedule I drug. The pharmacy is the retail for big pharma. Doctor writes a prescription, you pick it up.
Yeah.
In the cannabis industry, the physician here in Georgia will give you a cannabis card. You have to go to a dispensary, which is the retail. Now, it's important to understand the products that are going to help you for your condition.
Right.
Because the one thing that doctors want to do, just like, a personal trainer, is help you with compliance.
Right.
We want to give you a product that you're going to definitely use every day for these therapeutic effects, and hopefully cannabis or this drug or these exercises or getting proper sleep or that diet will blow your mind with the results, right?
Right.
So, then you're going to you're going to come back,
Yeah.
right? So, someone gets a cannabis card that once, has severe arthritis, right? And they failed Tylenol, they failed Motrin. I mean, failed, they still have pain, right? Now the Motrin's playing with their blood pressure. Now I'm taking Motrin and now I'm on this beta blocker.
Yeah.
Now this Motrin is causing me to have some stomach irritation.
Yeah.
Now I'm taking Pepsid, Motrin. I'm taking what else? What else?
It's a chain of them.
Yeah, you're gonna
So
get a
basically,
chain.
you take one, you gotta take the other.
One problem is gonna lead to 4 or 5 snowball, right?
Yeah.
So that him or her or the caregiver, like your spouse or friends, like I'm tired of you suffering. Look at the clinical evidence of cannabis. It's proven to help with some chronic pain,
Right.
especially cancer-related pain, but it does help with chronic pain. How? Okay, well, the Motrin you're taking, right? Cannabis, specifically CBD, cannabidiol, right, is 20 times stronger than what you're taking. You're like, what? And I'm like, yeah. Yeah. Without all those side effects. There's side effects with everything.
So CBD, you said it's 20 times stronger than the over-the-counter
Ibuprofen, Motrin, Tylenol.
No kidding.
As far as anti-inflammatory. And the receptors are smarter than the drugs. I mean, cannabis, that CB1 and CB2 receptor can go upstream or downstream. It can say, hey, make more of it, or hey, cut it out, stop. You dig what I'm saying? That's a great regulator, bro.
So
think about it, man.
How exactly does that compare to like your Motrin, right? Because CBD, you said it can regulate up or down.
You ever heard of liver failure?
Yeah.
You ever heard of liver cirrhosis?
So all the side effects that come
Is that all
along with
Motrin, sir?
No.
But you don't know that NSAIDs can raise your blood pressure?
What can raise your blood pressure?
NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, Motrin, ibuprofen, Tylenol.
Oh, yeah, NSAIDs. Okay.
Have you heard of that?
I have, but
okay, raising your blood pressure does what? Heart attack or stroke?
Heart attack or stroke.
Okay. Is cannabis causing any death?
Absolutely not.
Have you heard of any deaths?
None. So what
if it pleases the court, I should leave.
Your verdict has been delivered. Okay. But I'm just curious, so CBD has proven to be more effective than any of your NSAIDs that you can get over the counter.
I said stronger. Stronger.
Okay.
Right. It's up to the person as far as efficacy, right?
Okay.
CBD doesn't cause any death.
I see. Okay.
CBD, to me as a physician, if you're going to have a long-term chronic problem, I'd rather give you something that's not going to put a hole in your esophagus or a hole in your stomach.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying?
I got what you're saying.
I'm going to try to give you something that's not going to in 20 years, you might be on dialysis because you have chronic renal failure.
Yeah.
You know?
So,
Short term and long term, you're winning
right.
with the plant.
With the plant, taking that like recreationally, people who are not going to Dr. Hodge to get their medical grade cannabis, but they're going to,
Up the street.
Yeah, up the
Corner,
street, the plug,
Starbucks.
off Roosevelt Highway somewhere. Are they getting the same benefit of CBD that they would get from approved product like yours?
You don't know what you're getting, bro.
Yeah,
So
that's what's scary.
When you buy cannabis, off the street for recreational, you don't know if it's indoor, outdoor. You don't understand, cannabis is regulated in the medical market, like a lab. Someone's testing for pesticides. Pesticides are carcinogens, right? Mm-hmm. They get into your bones, and they don't ever leave. When you die, you're gonna have levels of pesticides in your bones. Mm-hmm. It absorbs it. There's gonna be some viruses, like E. coli. Somebody used the restroom, didn't wash their hands for 8 seconds. It could be on your cannabis. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's fungus in the air, aspergillosis. Mm-hmm. You don't want that in your lungs, fam. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So what are the...
You're taking that risk.
Mm-hmm.
That's the risk you're taking. But then you're also, if you're buying it around the corner off the street, they have to make a profit, bro.
Exactly, yeah.
So that harvest is going to yield
X
so
amount of
much
dollars.
weight.
Yeah.
I'm going to spray some on that thing.
Just to make sure.
Make it heavier.
Yeah.
I got to make money. I don't care about you. I might put some coloring on there so it looks more purple. I don't care about you. I just want to make money.
So do we know of any like cases where, any cases, it doesn't have to be proven in any like journals or anything, but one of the common misconceptions is that cannabis can cause like harm or make you sick when overconsumed. Is there such thing as like...
Yeah, cannabis can mess you up. Too much caffeine can mess you up.
Too much of any drug.
Right. Poison control, what's the number one reason why people call poison control?
What is it?
Caffeine, bro.
Really?
Took too much energy drinks, kid. Took too much something.
I didn't know that.
Heart rate racing. They feel like they're about to have a heart attack, bro.
Yeah.
So caffeinated drinks. But there are dangers of cannabis. Cannabis isn't for everyone. Cannabis in the adolescence age, if you were going to get schizophrenia, if you were going to get it, if you got a family history,
Yeah, the gene.
you were going to get it anyway, it can come earlier. So instead of typically 18, 19, full-blown schizophrenia, it might be 14, 15. But you were going to get it anyway.
Yeah.
So let's get that off the table.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, cannabis can cause schizophrenia. Like, no, you were going to get it anyway. Mm-hmm. This is all evidence-based medicine. This is not popular opinion. I'm telling you, bro.
Yeah.
Some people are developing cannabis hyperemesis syndrome.
What is that?
This is involuntarily uncontrollable cyclic vomiting. And it's happening with heavy users, bro. Like decades of using. All of a sudden, they try to do any edible inhalation, they throwing up.
No kidding.
So the theory is there's a down regulation. Your body over decades of cannabis use, that CB1 receptor down regulates.
Uh-huh.
And that is the side effect of cannabis.
Yikes. So
Yeah.
I've been using cannabis. Well, okay, so I had a period of my life when I was in college. I used to smoke very often. Definitely got it from off the corner. I don't know what I was smoking.
Gotcha.
I
So you
tried
know what you smoking?
Yeah, nah, I didn't know what I was smoking.
It was the plant, but
It was a plant. Yeah, I didn't know what the strain was, indica. I didn't know what the THC level. But there was one time I was in college. It was 420, of course, so everybody going crazy.
Yeah.
We stripped a cigar and stuffed it, and I had a buddy who was there. He said he felt his throat. Anyway, I'm not even gonna go into detail, but he just had a hard time. But I say that to say most people who use have really good experiences, including myself. After the whole, overdoing it phase, for the people that that have using it like recreationally, having good experiences with it, is there anything in particular about cannabis that they need to know as they continue to enjoy it? Like, we see people that enjoy it all the time.
Yeah.
Do you typically have any like advice to give them about it?
Nah, this game.
Do your
living,
thing.
bro. Do your thing, man. Vibe. But you know, you got to understand. You know, there's so many new users now.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you know, it wasn't, but there's like more than half the country, like 38, 39 states have a cannabis program, either recreational or medicinal. So you have way more new users with lack of education. So yeah, a bad thing that can happen is cannabis intoxication.
Right.
They get too high. They freak out. Mm-hmm. They call poison control. They're like, what did you give me? I'm going to the ER, you know?
Yeah.
And all they needed was reassurance. Like, hey,
You're good. Sit down.
This can happen.
Yeah.
Put something comfortable on. You're going to ride this out for 6-8 hours. I know you feel like you can't hear your heart or your heart's beating out your chest, but that's tachycardia. That can happen. You know, I know your thoughts are kind of like, well, there's cannabis intoxication with delirium.
Yeah.
That can happen. You know, people need to know that.
Yeah.
But those are two bad things.
Got you.
We also, cannabis can cause cannabis-induced sleep disorder, cannabis-induced insomnia.
Yeah.
You can't sleep without it.
That's interesting because I know a lot of people who use cannabis to sleep better.
Yeah.
So it can go either way.
Your cannabis is, you can't say for a fact that it's the best sleep aid because some people, it'll wire them up, man.
Yeah.
They geeked up.
Yeah.
They can't sleep. You dig? They geek. You know, but for most people, sleep onset improved, sleep duration improved.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's not all people, bro.
Right, yeah.
So we can't say cannabis is, hey, you got problems sleeping, put the Xanax away. Cannabis, you know? Only thing we can say about cannabis today is that CBD, right, which is the non-psychoactive part of cannabis, can slow down and control seizures,
That's proven.
childhood seizures, Dravet syndrome and Lennox-Gastaut syndrome, severe epilepsy in babies and kids, right? As far as the whole plant, what can we say about that? Popular opinion's good for pain, COVID, it can, STDs, man, put cannabis on it. But all we can say is full spectrum is good for chemotherapy-associated nausea and vomiting.
Yeah.
Not all nausea and vomiting.
Yeah.
But if you're on some chemo, just can't help you. That's how hard the hurdles have been for research.
Yeah.
Because we know the list is crazy. But it's crazy for me to even tell you, hey, only chemotherapy, associated nausea and vomiting and seizures and some pain.
Because it's more than that, obviously.
Bro, quit playing.
The book is what? You went to school. You have a master's in cannabis.
Yeah, I do.
And as one of the most educated people in this country,
proud of
you should be.
I'm proud of that.
As one of the most educated people in this country, with this, you're still sitting here saying that we don't know enough.
Bro, it's just the beginning.
Yeah.
This industry is fascinating. This sector worth $65 million in 4 years, by the way. Surpassed corn, by the way. Surpassed cotton, by the way. Just beginning, bro. Because you're talking about medicinal, but you didn't talk about the skin, the CBD beauty.
Exactly, yeah.
The gas, the concrete, the steel.
Yeah.
Cleaning up the soil.
Which
you're missing it.
that brings up another point
Replacing
because
plastic, bro.
that opens up an entire new economy. And you do a lot of work like on the advocacy side. Like I heard another podcast that you hired lobbyists to go in and basically like you putting money behind this too?
Bro,
Why?
because I wanted to be the best. And this industry is not going to be kind to the victims of this failed drug war.
That's it right there.
Now, if you want some equity, you know, I learned the game of capitalism. And sometimes you got to make it fair. You can't be like, well, that's not fair. No, we passed this bill in 2015. Before 2015, for the last 4 years, everybody was in the state trying to get cannabis like they are every year. They trying to get casinos like they are every year.
Yeah.
We don't have, someone's fighting for it, lobbying it.
You talking about the Farm Bill?
Farm Bill was for hemp, yeah.
Okay.
That was 2018, which legalized all of this. All this is hemp, CBD. It legalized it because it's less than 0.3 of THC. So I can mail that anywhere.
Gotcha.
In all 50 states.
Gotcha.
We're growing hemp in Georgia. I mean, growing hemp and we're growing cannabis now.
Right.
But we've been growing hemp since the Farm Bill.
Got you. Okay. I want to touch on everything you have here, but I want to ask you a question.
Go ahead, bro. It's the gems, man.
Good. I'm huge.
Y'all better rewind this thing, man.
I'm sure people will listen to it a couple times.
Yeah.
I'm really big on like taking empirical evidence, right? You have published studies out there that say one thing about the human body, and then you have anecdotal evidence with people saying another thing, but then you have the one evidence that truly matters, and that's what you put in your body and how your body reacts to it.
Yeah.
For people that are interested in like getting started with, using cannabis to maybe treat anxiety, PTSD, or chronic pain, where do you recommend that they start?
Okay, so as we continue to cover all the different ways to improve your health on this podcast, I'd be remiss if I didn't encourage you to have your healthcare bases covered. And that's why I want to talk to you guys about Access Benefit Consultants. Access is not only my parents' company, so I might be a little bit biased here, but they've been doing this for over 30 years now, and they help individuals like myself have health insurance coverage. I'm not a W-2 employee, so I understand the experience of going without insurance when you really need it. As a passionate entrepreneur who has multiple kids, I'm sure some of you guys can relate, it's still really important to have health insurance, and Access Benefit Consultants has helped me to cover those bases. They have several agents across the country, and one of them helped walk me through the process of applying for insurance, and it wasn't as bad as I thought, nor was it as expensive as I thought it would be. They made the entire process seamless, and now I have coverage for myself, my wife, and my 4 kids, and I can sleep peacefully at night knowing that while I do all the things to take care of my health, I still have a foundation of coverage in case things go wrong, and you need that foundation too. So I'm inviting you to reach out to Access Benefit Consultants if your insurance needs are not being met. You can do that by hitting the link in the show notes of this episode, and you can use the tool on the website to find a quote for yourself, or you can send them a message and an agent will be in touch with you in no time. Make sure you have your bases covered with your insurance.
I recommend everyone starting out with just CBD.
Really?
Yeah, just cannabidiol. Cannabidiol doesn't attach to the it's a partial agonist, not to get all nerdy. We don't understand how it affects the CB1 receptor.
Okay.
We know how it attaches to the CB2 receptor. And again, CBD, I can prescribe that for epilepsy. There's a CBD drug called Epidiolex. And I can prescribe that right now, and they can pick it up at a pharmacy. So Big Pharma is already cashing in.
I bet.
On cannabis.
I bet.
So you start out with CBD because, again, there's no adverse reactions. You're getting a baby from your first breath to your last breath. Fine. CBD, there is some drug-to-drug interaction. So, if you're on pharmaceuticals and or over-the-counter drugs, take CBD a half hour before. I like to start people out with 20 to 25 milligrams.
Okay.
Tell people the side effects. CBD can cause some somnolence. Some people might have an upset stomach. But I reassure every patient and every caregiver, these side effects are self-limiting. After 3 or 4 days, man, they go away.
Yeah.
Same with full spectrum, with the full plant.
Yep.
You might get super, like I was super high, and you're gonna wish you could get super high a week later. I want to go back to last week. No,
not gonna happen no more.
Nah.
So wait, right after you take that full spectrum, you're saying that
And then figure out your delivery method too.
Okay.
So, you might just need a topical.
Oh, versus inhalation.
There's like 21 ways to to get cannabis delivered. You know, we always just think about smoking or brownies.
Right. Yeah.
There's topical. There's drops. You know, you can use your rectum. There's suppositories.
Okay.
People with severe Crohn's, ulcer colitis.
True.
Or you might be hospice in the life. You can't control your airway. You know,
Going right up the butt.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just like we do Tylenol.
Yeah.
Just like we do Ativan. Just like we do morphine in your gums because you can't swallow. You can rub that under your tongue called sublingual.
Yeah.
Or your cheek, which is buccal or buccal.
Gotcha.
You know? So you can use those, figure out your delivery method that you're going to be compliant with.
So even if you are, like, let's say someone determines their delivery method, how long does it take? Because you just said that when you do full spectrum, a week later, you're not going to have the same experience that you had the first time you tried it. Is it that much of a bump in tolerance after you use consistently?
If you're a patient, you might be using every 4 hours.
Yeah, okay.
So you're going to start get down regulation of your receptors because your body likes homeostasis. Your body's big on balance.
Yeah.
You put too much in it, the receptors that receive it are going to hide.
So
you need more.
That begs the question. If you start taking it and the receptors hide and then you stop altogether, what type of symptoms do people normally see? I mean, that's withdrawal. Basically. Yeah.
That's another bad thing that happen is people can develop cannabis. We don't call it addiction. Mm-hmm. It's so derogatory, so like old school.
Yeah.
We call it cannabis use disorder. We don't call them like pill heads or heroin addicts. We call them opioid use disorder, caffeine use disorder. So once people develop cannabis use disorder, to prevent that, you take tolerance breaks.
Yeah, that's what I have written down. So I've been tapped into your IG for a minute. I was lucky enough to catch the last time. The last time you went out. Yeah, I wanted you to talk about that because last time, how long was it? I think
was it for like 7-8 days, bro.
Yeah, but I remember one day you said you was feeling like shit.
Oh yeah. It's okay. There's 2 drug withdrawals that can kill you. Just to educate you, you probably know alcohol withdrawal kills. Mm-hmm. So you got an alcohol that comes in the ER that can't get to it. They're in the ICU, bro.
Yeah.
They take up an ICU bed. You know how much that costs? Because they can go into DTs, right? Mm-hmm. Xanax is everywhere. You hear about it. They sing about it, right? Xannies, right?
Xannies, yeah.
That's a benzodiazepine.
Yeah.
They're everywhere, bro, and they start young taking that.
Yeah.
We overprescribe. In fact, it's the next epidemic besides the opioid epidemic.
Xannies?
Yeah, bro.
Dang.
Yeah, this pandemic has caused a lot of mental health and stress. Antidepressants ain't working.
Yeah.
So you're taking an antidepressant, which takes 6 months to start working.
Yeah.
For some people. Mm-hmm. Most people are going to be treatment-resistant depressant, right? You waited 6 months, like, shit, that didn't work. Let me try something else. You got to wait another 6 months, bro. But in the meantime, you need help sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you got some anxiety too.
Yeah.
So, benzos, you've been on it.
So
hard to get off. Once you stop it cold turkey, you could die. Cannabis withdrawal doesn't kill you. Mm-hmm. Self-limiting. The symptoms go away within 3 to 4 days.
Got you. So what's the point of taking a tolerance break then?
To protect the receptors, protect your tolerance, to help your pockets economically. Because if you use every day, again, your receptors go away, so you need more product.
Yeah.
That 3.5 ain't gonna last you 3 minutes. Real talk, bro. That little ounce is like, it used to last a week, bro. That ounce gone, man.
Yeah.
3 days.
That's too funny. That's
so
facts.
yeah, now you're like, it's post-tax dollars. There's no insurance. It's still a Schedule 1 drug, bro. It's cash. You see?
Dang. So
tolerance breaks protects you short-term and long-term.
So outside of the financial piece, let's say someone got all the money in the world. Finances isn't a big deal, but they do want to protect their endocannabinoid system. How often should they be taking or how often should users take tolerance breaks?
Man, if you do that in your Siri or Google, they're gonna say once a month.
Once a month?
Yeah, like just a weekend.
Okay.
Take a weekend off. I have chronic pain, so I did it straight for like 6 years, bro.
Without a tolerance break? Or
No break. I'm 3 minutes.
okay, so you went 6 years straight.
Yeah, like 5 to 6 years straight. Because like, what I'm gonna take Motrin?
Yeah.
I've been on the plant. I trust nature now.
Yeah.
You know, Motrin, the side effect. I could take an 800 Motrin and urinate. All that dyes in there. I'm bugging. Like, whoa, bro.
Yeah.
Thing's like green, bro. Like brown. I'm bugging. I got diarrhea. All from over the counter.
Yeah.
Because I'm so used to something that's natural. I don't have any of those side effects, bro.
Yeah, so why stop?
Like, what?
And the
you want
pain
me to
comes.
do what?
The pain starts.
What?
So do you start feeling that chronic pain as soon as you get off of the cannabis? As soon as you take that break?
Chronic pain, sir. There is no breaks.
None. Even when you're using it, you don't feel relief?
You need a lesson in empathy. I'm going to give you one.
Thank you.
I'm gonna give you a lesson.
Give it to me.
Why people are so in the chronic pain? Lupus. I'm talking my sickle cell. I'm talking cancer. If you survive that, you can have chronic pain.
Yeah.
In the life, it's a lot of chronic pain. AIDS is HIV is a lot of chronic pain. And the reason why we're so misunderstood, you don't understand. We don't turn it off.
Right.
It's not like a Z-Pack, bro. Like you come to me like, hey, doc, congestion. You a little Z-Pack, bro. Like day 3, you good. You gonna be like, hey, don't leave me hanging now.
I got you.
So day 3, day 4, you're like, I'm back to 100%.
Yeah.
That's an acute illness.
Yeah.
You break your knee, break your ankle,
It
break
heals.
your leg. In 3 or 4 days, you're gonna slowly get better.
Yeah.
Quit playing, quit crying.
Yeah.
Right? Someone with chronic pain like Luke, bro, all day, every day they hurt.
Yeah.
But no one doesn't understand that. They related this like, oh man, I hurt my elbow one time. Yeah, it was like, I was in the cast. You'll be all right.
So it's all day, every day.
Yeah.
Dang.
It's something you just deal with. It's a part of you.
That's something that you don't appreciate. I mean, you don't appreciate it, period. But it's something you don't realize until you go through it.
Yeah, you don't realize it. And that is part of the pain and part of the isolation of the chronic pain population, why they just so isolated, so withdrawn.
So people who do experience chronic pain, but they
I'm
don't
with them. They
but
soldiers.
they don't have that income.
Right.
There's a big gap in treatment for them.
Thank you. They're stuck in this hamster wheel, this $1 trillion healthcare business. Put you on Medicare, Medicaid, bro. You get you used to paying a penny.
Damn.
Got you. You got you. You're a lifer. You're for lifer. And it's sad.
It's very
sad because that pill is not teaching you lifestyle changes. It's not teaching you any healthcare literacy. It's not teaching you importance of sleep, importance of diet. It's not teaching you that, so you're just never going to get well.
Right.
Yeah,
so that's why they call it sick
more
care. You just stay sick until you
you
die.
Not the whole world doesn't operate like this.
Yeah.
And once you approach it with that kind of lens, you're going to be like, man, I'm in this predicament because of this culture.
Yep.
I got to get this fat, I got to move. So now I'm eating processed food, fast food, forget nature, forget growing your own, like all this GMO I'm consuming.
Yeah.
I'm feeding my brain social media, them same chemicals which you should get from eating some good fruit, like dopamine or whatever. I'm getting it from a screen. My brain don't know the difference.
Yeah.
A person could not feel thirsty or hungry. They could be on that screen for 10, 12 hours.
Yeah.
Hold their bladder like, whoa. I didn't know I had to go that bad.
You see kids do that.
Yeah, you addicted, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I got one more place to take this.
Shoot, bro.
You done dropped several gems so far.
I hope so, man.
From someone to somebody listening to this. And I got a question about it on my Instagram. People who use, I won't even say CBD, but they use THC.
Go ahead. Do that thing, bro. THC, tetrahydrocannabinol.
Delta 8 or Delta 9. What's the difference between the two?
Delta 8 is an isomer, like a twin of Delta 9.
Okay.
So Delta 9 is naturally occurring on cannabis. That's the beauty, that's the magic, that's the money, right? That in CBD, right?
Yeah.
Delta 9 is responsible for the psychoactive, right? Scientists, like you said, once they figure out their target, right, which is a CB1 receptor, I can get under the microscope, find the shape, right? I see the molecular structure, the carbons, the hydrogens, the oxygens, right?
Yeah.
Someone developed that in South Carolina, scientists. The carbon bond, we call it Delta 8 because the double carbon bond is between the 8th and 9th carbon versus the 9th and 10th carbon for Delta 9. So this chemical is gonna unlock the same receptor.
Gotcha.
You dig what I'm saying? And fly under the radar. It could be sold everywhere.
Exactly.
It could be sold everywhere.
But it doesn't do it for some people.
Yeah.
Is that because their tolerance is too high from using Delta 9, or is it because their endocannabinoid system is
It could
just
be
different?
a bad batch of Delta 8. It could be, not the best quality, but your real key, you go to Home Depot and I copy the key, is going to unlock the same door.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
Facts.
they
Okay.
tripping, bro.
Okay.
They getting geeked.
Dang.
Yeah, they tripping. But Delta 8, again, is made with an acid. That acid could be any type of an acid, bro. It just has to have that pH of an acid, So it's not that safe. Unless you're getting it from a real place. That's why it's in gas stations everywhere, because it's a gray area. I get the same effect as Delta 9 without having a license, going to jail. But that Delta 8 is using very poor CBD that I don't want to sell, right? I put some acid on it, and that chemical conversion makes Delta 8. So that's why I don't mess with the less is mine.
Got you. Yeah. Speaking of it being yours,
I got Delta 8.
Let me see that. It's these are the Delta 8
Right
gummies.
right here.
Man, they got flowers. They have gummies. Okay, so
Come shop with us.
where can people find this, man?
Online, Rasean Hodge, MDCBD.com.
Shipping
right
worldwide?
in Atlanta. Oh, we worldwide, bro. You know that, bro. In Atlanta, off of Bill Kennedy Way, right off the Beltline. Got a store.
When people come there, what are they typically looking for?
For
Just
bro.
Pretty much
when people
everything.
come to the shop, when people come to me when I was doing the cannabis recommendations, bro, they looking for some hope, bro.
Yeah.
To be honest, these people, again, on their last wit with dealing with sickle cell.
Yeah.
Cancer's like, hey, man, they did the chemo, they did radiation. You told me. And it's here. It's back.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying? So people are extremely fragile that come in. Man, I heard about this. I done did this, and that. So they looking to get to turn their life around, bro. And this is changing lives just like that.
Yeah. I know you got hella testimonials from people that use your
you know,
products,
I mean,
man.
It's not curing cancer. Don't say that.
No.
I was gung ho, like, hey, bro, you got cancer, man. You gonna live.
Yeah.
Bro, heartbroken too many times.
Really?
Yeah. So, we got a lot of work to do. It's just the beginning,
Yeah.
Can it slow down tumor growth? Yes. Can it increase your appetite and help with cancer-associated wasting? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Can it help with some of that pain when that cancer is breaking your bones and splintering bones and squeezing organs? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, Rashawn, I got one more question for you, man. I want to know about using CBD or THC, anything from the cannabis plant, and exercise. So you're in the gym every morning. I know you post that picture of
the workout, bro.
Come on. Workout every day. Do you work out while, or like, do you use before working out?
Bro, do you brush your teeth in the morning? Does your thing
So
stink?
look,
Does your breath stink right now, bro?
I gotta know because I've done that before.
Yes.
And like, what is it like? Why is there such a stronger connection between the mind and the muscle when you work out under the influence? Is there
for most people, you're going to be able to lock in and focus. Again, it helps you focus.
Yep.
When you do that and you got some pain, you're like, I'm done, right?
Yeah.
You just lost focus. You got an anti-inflammatory and you're combating inflammation as you rep out.
Yep.
As you pump that chest up, my dog. You got something combating those problems.
So pain tolerance is higher.
Something combating cortisol, which leads to anxiety. Okay. So you can put heavier weight on there and be like, hey, lock in.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying? Things become light as a feather.
Yeah.
Running, something mundane and boring is interesting now.
Yeah, I know.
You know, just hearing the pattern of the cadence of your feet hitting the ground like me, you're like, you might be dancing on that thing. You know, that thing sounds like a rhythm. Like, you're like, whoa, I've been missing it. If you're outside, nature is like, whoa, because you're understanding terpenes. You don't smell your cannabis, which might smell like pine, might smell like dirt, might smell like lemon, Then you go outside and you understand there's terpenes everywhere, the pine trees, vasodilators, bronchodilators, energy. You're looking at an orange and you look at it different now. Orange is antiviral. It can help with cancer, antibacterial. Why is all the Fabulosa smell like oranges?
I know,
you know what I'm saying? And the lights. Antiviral.
Yeah.
This cannabis smells like a lemon. What are the properties? Antiviral. That's limonene.
Yeah.
Limonene. That's myrcene. That's pinene.
Yeah. I know
the same thing that's in wine. And so now you're just like, you're gonna start connecting a lot of dots.
That's the word. It's connection. Like everything is connected.
And what's good for you because everyone's different.
Right. See, my biggest hope is for anybody listening to this conversation or just the work that you do in general, man, is to drop the stigma that cannabis gets. Like the typical stigma that it makes you lazy, it makes you tired, or that you ain't doing nothing productive with your life if you use it. There is a productive way to include cannabis into your life outside of chronic pain, which is obviously huge. But like you said, focus.
The focus is crazy. That's why for autism, cannabis is one of the applicable diseases. A lot of states, ADHD, one of the applicable diseases, way safer than Adderall or Ritalin.
Yeah.
Chronic cannabis users have a lower BMI. So initially you might have the munchies, but if you're a chronic user, you have less body fat.
Yeah.
And you consume more calories.
So that's interesting.
You dig what I'm saying? And that's a published, non-biased study.
No kidding. I thought that was a myth. I thought they said that if you're a chronic user,
between your ears.
Chronic users, you used to say if you smoke too much, you lose weight. That must be fact.
Yeah. You have a lower BMI, so you have less adipose tissue. You still won't be healthy, the muscle, the bone, good. You're just not fat.
Got you.
You dig? And we're in the middle of an obesity epidemic.
Yeah, we didn't even touch on that.
So you saw those peptides, all those the drugs that are out.
Ozempic. And, Yeah, I know, man.
Good drugs.
Yeah.
They're good drugs.
Yeah.
But expensive.
Yeah, and
it's not going to be for everyone.
Yeah.
In 5 years, they say the half of the country is going to be obese. Yeah. And that's causing almost 70 diseases being overweight, bro.
Yeah.
Cannabis can help a lot of that population.
Boom. And that's the message that Dr. Hodge has to leave for the audience. Before I transition out, is there anything else, anything important that you'd like to leave with the audience? Any words of encouragement, man, where people can find you?
You know where, in your life where you need to be. Explore cannabis. And it's not my folks that are thinking they got to have a broken neck. I'm talking emotionally, where you at. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about your addiction. your dependence. You know where you're at. Try cannabis. That can help. I'm talking about exercising and taking care of your body and sticking to your word. Try cannabis. Just know that the side effects are very self-limiting. 3 to 4 days, they're gonna go away. You'll get used to it. So stay with it. And it's not gonna be for everybody. But definitely try it because the benefits, in my humble professional opinion, outweigh the risk. Boom.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right. That's the third episode of the Culture of Health podcast. Y'all just heard from Dr. Hodge.
Pleasure, bro.
Where can people find you? Because you are very
on
active.
IG, Rasean Hodge, MD. RaseanHodge.MD on IG.
And if y'all have questions.
YouTube, man, subscribe to the YouTube. I got like 5 followers on that thing.
Oh, what's the YouTube? We're going to have to put that on the
It's
screen.
on the IG.
Rashawn Hodge.
Rasean Hodge, MD.
Rashawn Hodge,
On
MD.
YouTube.
You guys can shop here no matter where you live in the country.
Shop with
These
us.
products are available.
Gummies.
And if you have questions, man, this is a very approachable, reachable, man. Slide in the DMs. We cool sliding in the DMs, right?
Yeah, DMs. Yeah, DM anybody. I'm not talking just health. This is a career for you. This is a career for your kids. This is a budding industry, unlike anything in our lifetime. I'm not talking just touching it. If you're an architect, if you're a lawyer, aspirations, if you're a dietitian, if you're an influencer, social media, photography, you got a lane in cannabis, which pays a little more. Physicians, cannabis, again, landscaping, builders, you're gonna be using hempcrete, you're gonna be using the steel. So whatever aspirations you have or what you currently are doing,
Find them in cannabis.
find it in cannabis. It's new. The ceiling is not where you're at right there, currently. So
Love it. All right. Hey, man, I appreciate you, dog. I'm going to dap you up on camera. That was real. If you guys have any questions for Dr. Hodge, be sure to DM him. And thanks for tuning in.
Bet.
All right.
That was a great show.